Yo, yo. Yeah. Saturday, baby. Urban Therapy with Sun 752 with this your daily to daily. No, it ain't. It's the Urban Therapy with Sun show. We Urban Therapy with Sun 752 and this the Urban Therapy with Sun show. We do this every single Saturday from 1:30 p.m. till around 3:30-ish. And the reason that we say 3:30-ish is because sometimes it gets so heated that we just have to do a little OT on a Saturday. And it is Saturday. This is the show where adults come out and play with other adults. We laugh, we cry, we argue, fuss, and fight, go back and forth with each other, bust it up all crazy. We take an introspective look into our own personality to see the way that the universe projects us into this thing called the world and try to figure out this thing called life. I'm your host, Sun752, aka Omar with the and if you can't say Omar with the well, then you just say Omar with the R. This is the Urban Therapy with Sun show. I'm feeling like a real man should, and I hope y'all feeling like real men and women should as well. Today, on this beautiful Saturday afternoon, even though it's overcast over here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the East Coast, we are talking about not coping as well as you used to. Not coping as well as you used to. You know, I thought a lot about this word coping. I thought a lot about this word coping and what it really means. What does it mean to be able to cope with something? You know, it's not a word that we always use. Sometimes we use it just in passing, talking about dealing with something or putting up with something or whatever. That's not coping. I looked up the meaning of what coping means, and it's kind of deep. I want to share it with y'all. Damn, what did I do with it? All right, hold on. What is the meaning of coping? Okay, so it says coping refers to the process and strategies, conscious or unconscious, people use to deal with and manage difficult, stressful, or challenging circumstances, emotions, and problems. The process and strategies, conscious or unconscious, that people use to manage difficult, stressful, and challenging circumstances, emotions, and problems. So a lot of this has to do with how we grew up, what we, the tools that we've been given in order to be able to make it from day to day, to be able to deal with, challenging situations, to be able to deal with stress, to be able to deal with adversity, to be able to deal with failure, with feelings of ineptitude. Just basically, when we talk about coping, we're not talking about getting rid of something. We're talking about being able to deal with it while it's still there. Like, I can cope with this. But what we want to be talking about today is how you've lived your life being able to recognize certain things that happen to you, really getting to know yourself, understand yourself, and feeling like now you're not as able to deal with the self that you have become as you were able to deal with the self that you were before. Coping, not being able to cope as well as you used to. So whereas before you were able to just do this and that because you knew what this was about, you knew what that was about, and those techniques ain't working like they used to. You got to rearrange some things. You got to change some things. And you may not even understand why it is that you have to make any changes at all. But these things have presented themselves. And now you have to find some kind of technique in order to be able to keep on going. And it ain't easy for everybody. Change is hard for a lot of people. Your body, your cells die and regenerate every day. So you're not capable of not changing on the inside. But also on the inside, we all feel like we know ourselves and that we can deal with whatever it is out there that comes our way. Because we've seen it before. It's not sneaking up on us. But what happens when our ability to deal with, eradicate, neutralize, fix, repair, get things together, pull it together? What happens when the things that we used to do aren't working the way that they used to? When it was a short shot deal before, and now it's like, I don't really know what I'm gonna do here. I don't know. I don't even know where I'm at on this topic right now. Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. Not coping as well as you used to. And a lot of things can throw off your ability to be able to cope as well as you used to. You could have broken up with a lover, gone through a really, really toxic marriage, and which led to divorce. You could have lost a job, and that was your financial security. You know, a lot of people, for what it's worth, a lot of people are very, very stable when their money is right. And when their money ain't right, it don't matter what else out there in the world is going on or what might be in place. In their minds, the money has kept all of those things together. So whether we agree with that or not, losing a job and losing that ability to be able to financially sustain yourself can really be a devastating blow for a lot of people. So, you know, where you didn't have to cope with that before, maybe you were juggling 2 or 3 jobs before, maybe you don't have the energy to do that anymore. And so losing this one job, that might have been the primary one. You know, people who work 2 and 3 jobs, they got the supplemental jobs, and then they got the big job that they rely on. Well, what happens when you lose the big one? It might be hard to cope with only having enough for the income that's coming in from the supplemental one. So it's a lot to this. And it goes deeper. It's going to get deeper. A death in the family or death of a loved one can definitely just torch, firebomb, and destroy your ability or the feeling that you have the ability to cope the way that you used to. So this is what we going to do. I said, what we going to do? I said, what we going to do? What we going to do is, I said, what we going to do? I said, what we going to do? We're going to get this stuff out of the way. Please do me a favor while we do what we're doing. As I play the role of a production grip, getting my props out of the way, please hit that like button, y'all. Please hit the like button. Hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel. I really just need your likes. I need y'all to press that heart button, the 100 button. I need y'all to do all of that. YouTube ain't messing with me with this algorithm. It's getting to me. I'm not coping with it as well as I used to. I'm ready to be like, But this thing comes in peaks and valleys. It comes in peaks and valleys. Just help me out a little bit. If you rock with this channel, help out as much as you used to. You ain't gotta get no money. You ain't gotta get no money. You know what I'm saying? Just be down with the crew. All right, let me say what's up to my peoples. We got T Carry right morning, noon, and night. It's always great to have my peoples going directly into your site. And Brown Eyes Dunlap. Yo, Brown Eyes, what's going on, ma? How you feeling? It's good to see you here. Really, really, really. And also, my brother Ansel Jones is in the house. What's going on, my brother Ansel Jones? And Carla. What's good, Carla? Good to see you. Maritza Allberg. What's going on, Ritzy? And sure. Andrew C. I don't know if you know what this is yet, but you know what I mean? You've had enough time to figure it out. Dimples D's. Dimples D's is all up in here. What's going on, ma? Good to see me some you. And Grown Woman Don't Try Me. Grown Woman Don't Try Me. What up? What up? And Lee Jean. Or is it Lee Jean? I mean, if it's French Creole, it would be Lee Jean, right? Well, glad to see you here. All right. So that's what we're talking about, man. Not coping as well as you used to. Not coping as well as you used to. You know, like, it's hard. It is. It's hard when you feel like you know yourself and you know exactly what to do in order to get the results that you need. When predators or attackers come in, you've already learned how to fight them off. You know, you've acquired the skills. But what happens when you have to deal with the fact that those skills that you have acquired ain't working the way that they used to? It ain't work. Listen, all of y'all drive, right? Y'all all have cars. Well, you? I'm sure that if you've been driving for a long time, you've dealt with a time when your car wasn't working the way that it used to. You know what I mean? And you may have known what to do in order to get your car back right. But it might have been that time when you had some damage to your car, maybe the engine, maybe the transmission or something like that, and you could not make the car run like it was supposed to. So maybe when you first bought the car, that acceleration pedal was like, woo, woo, woo. You weaving in and out of traffic or whatever. Not that you have to be no speed racer or nothing, but you notice that the car is not as fast as it doesn't go as fast as it used to go. Maybe you need a tune-up. Maybe you definitely need to go take it to the mechanic and have them work on it so you can get your ride back to riding the way that you needed to ride. But you notice that your car ain't doing what it used to do, and you wanted to do what it used to do. And so just like the car is not coping as well as it used to, you may have something going on with your internal engine. If you're the car, if your steering wheel ain't 3 and 9 at 3 and 9, it's more like 2, let's say 1 and 7. Or is that? I guess that would be 1 and 6, 2 and 7, 10 and 5, something like that. Anyway, that probably wasn't the best example, but we're gonna keep rolling. But it's not easy. It's not easy when you are not able to quickly make things go away that irritate you, that infiltrate you, that stress you out, that make you sad or unhappy or uneasy or uncomfortable. Whereas you have learned yourself well enough and even learned about the attackers well enough to know exactly what to do in those situations so you can get back right. What happens when those things, those techniques that you used to have ain't working like they used to? What happens? What do you do? How do you deal with it? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today on the Urban Therapy with Son show. So I'm glad that y'all came through. And no, I'm not going to stand up for the whole show. Not that I couldn't, because like I could, but I'm not. I ain't going to do that. I ain't going to do that. See, got my trusty chair. I'm gonna sit in it. This is me sitting in this trusty chair. So do you understand? Do you understand? Grown woman don't try me says I'm a stress eater. Oh, a stress eater. Like when you stressed out, you start eating. Is that what you? Oh, I understand that. I understand that. And for some people, that can be very dangerous. For real, Carla says. And so when I was a single parent, I had 1 full-time job and 2 part-time jobs. Body survived, but was difficult. Y'all got it. Y'all got it. I've never worked 2 jobs in my life. Not that I'm too lazy to do it, but I mean, I just value my I gotta have more free time. If I did it, it wouldn't work very well. I'd probably be all mean and shit. Like, man, I ain't paying me $1 million. I ain't doing this shit. But I get it. I get it. But yeah, not coping as well as you used to. Things can happen in your life that can just throw you off. I mean, throw you off badly. Like, we're all at that age. And this can be any age. But we're all at that age where we've lost significant people in our lives. Some of y'all may have lost best friends. Some of y'all may have lost children. Some of y'all may have lost parents. A lot of us have lost parents, right? Co-workers, people you didn't know, but you knew of. Even sometimes just seeing celebrities, hearing about the passing of certain celebrities. You might have bought their records. You may have gone to see their movies, like really liked them, really admired them. Never met them, didn't know them personally, but you felt their aura and respected and appreciated their talent, and they just, you hear they passing, like a Malcolm Jamal Warner. Like, I know that hit a lot of people. Like, Theo? Oh man, not Theo. You know what I'm saying? So, whereas if you're the type of person that has lost so many people after a while, you may feel like you've become immune or built up a force field to be able to combat, losing people. You can get to the point where maybe you expect to lose more than you expect to keep, which is not really a good place to be. But maybe that's the way your coping has worked out, and for you that has worked out in a good way, because that allowed you to not feel the pain as bad as it may have hit you when you were younger and less experienced, But that doesn't mean that the next person that leaves this world on you, because that's how you be feeling like, yo, he went and died on me, man. I ain't saying that's how everybody feel, but it's not that hard to feel that way. And you might realize, like, my whole coping mechanism has been bombed. Somebody Molotov cocktailed my coping mechanism. Like, I'm not coping as well. And see, coping is a long-term process. It's not just, I saw it, it hurt my feelings, I got through it, I got past it, I got over it. No, coping is how you deal with things in the long term. So you might link your ability to cope to your memory, because it's really hard to forget the negative things that happen to you. Y'all know what I'm talking about. It's really hard to forget the negative things that have happened to you. So in dealing with the negative things that has happened to you, you got to get your coping skills up. And they are skills, coping skills. And I imagine that we probably need to talk a little bit about coping skills as we do this show today. And we will. Coping skills. Coping skills. Building up the acumen, the ability to be able to deal with the things in life that throw you off or that are uncomfortable for you, and how it feels when you can't do that as well as you used to. Yeah. Dealing with loss. I guess we probably have to talk a lot about dealing with loss today. And that's not necessarily death, but loss. Loss of a loved one, loss of a job, loss of your physical ability. One thing that gets to me, and I hate to see it, but it's something that we got to deal with. I hate to see people who are struggling, who have been dealing with diabetes, and when they have to get limbs cut off or they blind and shit, and I'd be like, damn. I'd be thinking to myself, like, how do you deal with that? How do you deal with that? Because everybody deals with that situation differently. Sergio Borba says, hi, I think money is the biggest problem. The biggest problem with what exactly? Please feel free to be specific. Because, money can be here's one thing that I appreciate about financial problems. You can fix that. You can fix that. You lose a job or a source of income, you can find another source of income. You can find another job. You can hustle. You can devise a plan. You can scheme up something. You can network with people. You can get help. You can fix money problems. Health problems sometimes can't even be fixed with money. Emotional problems absolutely won't be fixed with money unless you just sad because you lost some money, which once again can be fixed. You can fix it. So like if the problem is I'm poor, one thing about being poor, they have coping skills. People who are poor don't know what it's like to have a lot of money, so they have been able to cope with being poor for however time. But what happens with a lot of people who are poor, like after the pandemic, many of those people who were living below the poverty line experienced having good fortune. They was making a little bit of money. You know, unemployment plus $600 a week on top of the unemployment check. So a lot of them were making more money than they had ever made. Now, when the pandemic was over, now you got to go back to that same money you was making before. That can have a direct effect on your coping skills. Like, yo, it was crab legs. Whoa, it was crab legs and shrimp every day around here. Plus, I was smoking an ounce of weed a week. Now look at me. I'm back down to nicks and dimes. They don't even want to sell me no nicks. Where can I buy a nickel bag of weed? And dope boys be like, a nickel bag? Ain't nobody selling no nicks no more. What you think this is? Wu-Tang 2 for 5s back in 1993? Nobody got no nickel bags. Get your money up, fool. Oh, man. Real woman said, Sergio, I think that lack of money is the problem. Marissa says, damn, Carla. This was a lot. You're very strong. Hold on. What y'all say? Hold on. Oh, Carla said, grown woman, I feel you on that, but I feel guilty sometimes losing family time. Absolutely. I felt it in that way. I felt it that way too. But I told myself it had to be done. Hope my children appreciated it. Same sis, had a full-time job, 2 positions, and I drove Uber after work on the weekends. All right. Sergio says, if you don't have money, people think you are a nobody. Depends on the people you're talking about. What up, Tori? What's good, ma? Good to see me some you. All the time. So, grown woman says, Sergio, in my poorest days, I was and still am somebody. You go ahead, Jesse Jackson. And Carla says, right, grown woman, my daughter followed in my footsteps. Both my son and daughter hardworking as well. There's nothing wrong with a good work ethic. I hear that. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, you know, not feeling like you are as strong as you used to be. And that could be literally and figuratively. How many of y'all used to work out back in the day? Or y'all workaholics in here used to work all of those jobs back in the day, and now you like, I could barely get through one 8-hour shift. I'd be goddamn if I'm leaving one job to go get on another job. And you kind of feel your mortality in that. And it's an eye-opening experience when we start feeling the effects of our mortality. Not saying that we're dying, but we know, most of us know we have more years behind us than in front of us. Those years in front of us are very uncertain now. Not like it was when we was 20. Not like it was when we was 30. When you get to age 40, you start looking at life a little different. Like 40, that's half of 80. How many of y'all have lost people due to sickness in their 30s and their 40s? Not everybody make it. I lost a lot of people in the 40s. Not everybody make it. Tori says, I always had 3 jobs, not just one. I can't no more. I understand. I understand. That energy ain't always what it used to be. And that's not to say that you don't have any energy, but you may not have the energy to put in that direction. You know, we're not always able to put certain things in perspective. You know how, like, we talk about our high school years and maybe some of our college years for those who went. And you realize, like I be telling people all the time, I don't know how adults be going back to college and doing all good. You know, adults be people who go back to college and get their degree or advanced degrees, they be bragging how they be wanting to show you their homework and they test scores and like, look at my GPA. I'm out there killing it. And I be thinking to myself, like, damn, how do you do it? How do you do it? Because when I got out of school, the only way I would have been able to go and get my master's or whatever is if I stayed the course right then and there. Because school was my priority. That's what I had to do. That's what everything in my future was contingent on. Now I got kids, I got bills, I got well, I ain't got no mortgage, but I got bills. You know what I'm saying? I got other shit I need to do. And going to school or doing homework that ain't on the schedule. Like when I was age 6 on to 20, age 22, 23, I had to do my homework. Now I don't have to. And can't nobody make me do it. So me prioritizing doing whatever work that it would take to get this degree is not something that I could do. But I have nothing but respect and admiration for those returning students who go back and do it. Because I'm like, that's amazing. That is amazing. Wouldn't happen over here. I'd be like, shit, a paper due tomorrow? What happens if I don't? Because I got to go to work tomorrow. And I know every other Thursday, my check gonna be ready for me. That's whether I pass this exam or not. I don't know. But I'm saying that to say that there are different intervals in your life where you prioritize certain things, where certain things are more important than other things. And you respect that. So that's part of coping too. That's a big part of coping. So when you're not able to get back on your horse the way you used to, ride as fast as you used to, maybe the horse is tired. Maybe he ain't as fast or she ain't as fast as she used to be. But the changes that come in our lives are something that we have to take note of, and we have to find other techniques, other ways to be able to circumvent the negative feelings that we may have of not being able to do things as well as we used to. You know, I mean, when we was younger, we would hear all the old heads talk about how they're not as sharp as they used to be, or they can't, blah, blah, blah. You know how young people always try to hype old people up. Nah. You still got it. You can do it. Yeah. You might be able to conceptually still do it, but you might not be able to do it. But I was going into how many of y'all used to exercise on a regular basis, whether you did strength training or cardio or whatever. You know what I mean? Maybe some of y'all used to just like to take those dance classes. Those are very popular with y'all women. You know what I mean? Y'all like, oh, dance classes. You know what I mean? You going to Zumba and type shit. You know what I mean? We going to dance class, line dancing. It's very, very popular with y'all old heads. And I have to say y'all old heads because I hate that shit. I think it don't matter. This ain't about me. I'm not old enough to get into line dancing yet. I'm not. I be seeing them dudes. I be like, I can't be him. I can't. I can't be the old head line dancing boy thinking he the shit with his hat on. And yes, you know who I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. You know how them old heads, you know what I mean? Them old line dancers, those old steppers, you know, they think, I be like, and you know, line dancing, stepping, whatever you want to call it, you know that shit is a cult. Marissa says, old heads you call us? I'm talking about the dudes. I ain't talking about the women. Because the men have a certain look to them. And a certain demeanor. I heard Oakland says, son call it people old heads is crazy. You know why I can call people old heads that's even my age? Because I can still run and jump. When my shoulder get better, I can do 100 push-ups. Straight. Maybe. I know I can kick out 50. When my shoulder get better, I'm going to be able to crank it out. But I still got it. Like, I literally still have the strength that I had at 25. Matter of fact, at 25, I wasn't working out. So I know I'm stronger than that. But you know what I mean. When I say I'm not old enough to be a stepper or be a line dancer, yo, if you ever go there, you'll know what I'm talking about, Oakland. If you look at the way they dress, you look at their demeanor, they are very comfortable in their old-headedness. But they be doing their thing. But I'm just not old enough. Maybe when I turn 65, I might be able to get with it. But I ain't old enough. I don't wear hats. Only hats I wear is Scully's in the wintertime. I don't even wear baseball caps. I don't wear no hats. You know what I mean? I rock my baldy all the time. Old heads, they be having on the suit jacket. You know what I mean? They got the hat on and you can't tell them shit. It's all romance. What up, Day Grind? What's good? 22,000 said the bus stop. 2,200 said the bus stop. And them damn. Ain't nothing wrong with the dance called the bop. But motherfuckers who bop well, they think you would think that they was able to lift 1,000 pounds. And they want to tease everybody who can't bop. They want to tease everybody who can't bop because they like the chief bopper. You know what I mean? Bopper in chief. King Bop. You know, Royal Bop. Royal Bop and Bopstress. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So I'm not there yet. But what I was saying was, imagine how line steppers, line dancers, steppers, whatever. Imagine how they feel when they ain't as sharp as they used to be. When they can't lead the bop no more. They can't lead the bop no more. They can't lead the bop no more. You know? Coping with that ain't no easy shit to do. You know, on the inside, you might be like, well, I'm a little slower, but I still got it. Yeah, but you are acknowledging that you're a little slower and you're not on your way up. You're not on your way up because you may be slower without injury. Speaking of injury, I'm going to have a petition. I'm going to have a petition that I want all of y'all to acknowledge at the end of this show. I want age. I want age to be officially listed as an injury. Why not? Why can't age be listed or considered to be an injury? Why not? Why not? It's like a disability. I'm old. I'm not as fast. I can't lift as much. I'm not as strong. I don't remember as well. I think it should be listed as an injury. And maybe there should be a check available for it. Let me know how y'all feel about it. Let me know how y'all feel about it. Yeah. It's an injury. And it's a long-term injury. I think you should be able to get long-term disability because of your age. Now, there may be some disagreement over how old you have to be or what the official old age should be, but we can get all that worked out. Just make sure y'all sign the petition. Age will be listed as an injury. Cheryl Halsey, was it good? Good to see you, Ma. Always, always. Ansel Jones says Michael Jordan with the Wizards was the most difficult to handle. Wasn't he a guard? What is ONR? Anyway, I thought Michael Jordan was garbage when he was with the Wizards. He was definitely past his prime and past his time. And then he ruined Kwame Brown, destroyed Kwame Brown and turned him into a goddamn conservative. That goddamn Kwame Brown. Yeah, Carla says, son, their shoes, socks, and pleated pants be matching. See, you know what? I'm like, come on, y'all. Y'all ain't gonna do me like this. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about, because I know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Them old heads them line dancing old heads, come on, man. Come on, look, Carla said it perfectly. Like, I'm not that old yet. I don't think 55 is eligible. I'm not eligible to line dance yet. I'm not. I'm somewhere stuck in the middle. But we yeah. But yeah, anyway, not coping as well as you used to. Man, if you've ever been in a toxic kind of relationship, it's me not again with the keyboard. What you got? Anyway, You can make me play anyway. I am, but just not right now. Have you ever been in a toxic relationship? The worst thing about being in a toxic or unhealthy relationship is that you get used to it. You get used to it. It's not really a good thing, but you do. You get used to it. You actually learn how to cope in an unhealthy or toxic relationship. You learn how to deal with it. You know the person that you're in a relationship with. You know if they're just acting crazy or stupid because they are either drinking or getting high or then done some shit that they're trying to conceal and don't want you to know about it. So they are sort of running the screen so you won't figure it out. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. You get used to it. But what happens when enough time goes by that you're not as used to it as you used to be? You're not dealing with the toxicity and the unhealthiness of that union as you used to be able to. Like maybe you're growing. Maybe you're getting bigger on the inside. And you've had enough of this shit. And you know what some of the things that'll make you grow up fast? Reading, traveling, talking to different people. Because when you start exposing yourself to different things, you realize that you don't have to settle for the same thing. Different things wear out the same things or the familiar things. Experiencing different things make you see like, wait a minute, I can expand my possibilities here. I don't have to do this. There is actually a chance for real happiness out there. And it ain't here. It ain't nowhere around here. Maybe I need to go somewhere where I can find it. Because it is available from what I see. It's there. It's there. Hit that like button, y'all. That's there too. The like button is right there. Hit that. But yeah. And you know, so that's a deep coping situation because although you might be in a toxic relationship or a difficult or unhealthy relationship, you have learned to be able to work within that relationship and be all right. So you've been able to get to sleep and wake up every day and make it through each day. Well, what happens when those days start to become harder and longer? Because of the unhealthiness of this situation that you've been in. What happens when the toxicity just ain't fun no more? And I have to say that what I mean by not being fun no more is that some people like that toxic shit. Some of y'all like that shit. The excitement of all of the bullshit. Somebody thinking you lying, somebody accusing you of shit, somebody pointing a finger at you, somebody stalking you, following you around. That makes some people feel important. Well, what happens when you outgrow it? What happens when you outgrow it and you really just want to Netflix and chill? Literally. I just want to Netflix and chill. Like, I don't want to, you know, maybe I'm a little sick of you threatening to punch me in the face. Or whoop my ass. Maybe I don't want that no more. Maybe I just want to spend some time with somebody who I love and who loves me, who I care for, who cares for me. Maybe I just want to support them and be supported. Maybe I don't feel like defending myself about cheating because I'm not cheating. Maybe I don't want to do that no more. Maybe I want to try something new. Maybe I want to just be able to relax. You know, like poor woman said, that's not a healthy mindset, in my opinion. It's not, but some people like that shit. Some people like it. They like the arguing back and forth and the fussing and the fighting and all that kind of shit. Have any of y'all ever been in a relationship that was kind of new and that person was giving you all of these negative vibes up front? Because maybe it was because they were used to it, or maybe they were trying to get you used to it, but they thought that this was the way it was supposed to be. Have you ever had to explain to somebody like, yo, this ain't it? This is not the way that grown people act. This is not the way that people who like each other act. Like, what are you doing? And I hate to say this, but social media has validated a lot of that toxic bullshit. Social media has co-signed a lot of that silly shit. And the thing is, they ain't young. There are people in their 40s and their 50s chasing behind these young people, not necessarily trying to dress like them, but some. All right, so I was in the Jamaican restaurant yesterday, right? And I had to do this. I hate. All right, what's today's date, y'all? It's the 27th, right? It's the 27th of September, right? Yesterday was the 26th. So technically, summer is over. It's time to put some pants. It's time to put some pants on. So I see this chick in the Jamaican spot. And I was like, I gotta take a picture of this shit. And so here it go. Now, from this point of view, you can't see it. This is how she was dressed. Now, from the side, it might not look as bad or whatever. But first of all, it's not hot. It wasn't hot outside like that yesterday. But you see her stomach. But if you see her from the front, you would be wondering, like, why you do that? Why you do that, sis? And here go a whole outfit. I'm talking not the one in the pink. She matching in all of that. But I think I got a close up. Hold on. This was the first shot that I got of her. I was trying not to be detected. I was trying not to let her see me taking a picture of her. Because I was just thinking, stank. And this ain't no young John. How old would y'all say this woman is? Y'all can't really see her face. Hold on. I ain't even noticed these long ass crazy fingernails. Oh, no. I guess she all right. How old would y'all guess that she is? I tell you what. She don't look like no. She definitely wasn't born in the 90s. Now, at best, she was born at the beginning of the 80s. So I'm going to say, man, she a 70s baby. Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here. Stop the stank. And I'm looking at this chick like, and so that's what we doing, huh? Not giving a fuck. I blame social media for that kind of shit. Some of us are trying to keep up with these young cats. Let them do their thing. Let them do their thing. When I was in high school, I ain't see my mom and my dad trying to wear bombers and sheepskins, rocking Timbs and shit. I ain't see them doing that. That was our thing. They let us live. I was like, who you looking for? Auntie? Fuck it. Auntie. Who you looking for, Auntie? What we doing? What are we doing? I hope she's not watching the show right now. Y'all should see me with the camera. I'm like, yeah, now when looking at her, I'm thinking like she's probably not dealing with aging very well. If I had to guess, she's probably not dealing with the years that are being bestowed upon her. If I had to guess. I was like, this is just too much. This is too goddamn much. But yeah, getting back to these toxic relationships, you might be growing out of that. And so you're not coping with it as well as you used to cope with it. My brother from another mother, Norris Hill, sit back, relax, do your thing, max and chill. What's going on, my dude? Always good to see you. Always good to see you. Grown woman, don't try me. Yo, thank you. Appreciate you. Hold on. Grown woman, don't try me. Grown woman, don't try me. Grown woman, don't try me. Don't ask why me. Grown woman, don't try me. Grown woman, don't try me. Grown woman, don't try me. Yo, nobody ask why me. Appreciate you, Mom. Appreciate you. Thank you. So yeah. Dylan, you could be at a point in your life where you just don't put up with the bullshit like you used to be able to put up with the bullshit. Like it's a wrap. Like we're not doing it like that no more. And that has a lot to do with how you were able to cope before versus how you're able to cope now. Like I just can't put up with this shit no more. Like everything has a beginning and an ending, but the middle is the biggest part. So how the middle plays out will determine how the ending goes. A lot of times, it doesn't mean that you'll be able to control how things end, but it will have an effect on whether the ending comes close sooner or later. But you could have found yourself in a situation where you were dealing with toxicity or unhealthiness in a relationship, and now it's time to shake that bullshit off. Word. Yeah.
You have a call from
Rita. Welcome to the Urban Therapy with Sun Show. Thank you for calling in. What's on your mind this afternoon? What's good? Are you there?
I am.
Okay.
I had to turn my TV down.
Okay. All right. Cool.
No. No, you have me cracking up. So, Okay, so I'm not trying to get too serious with this after you've been having this fun time, but I wonder as we get older, um, if our inability to cope as well as we have been before comes with like hormonal changes, not just women, because everybody likes to try to say it's just women who go through hormonal changes, which is bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Because men have a drop in testosterone as they get older. But I wonder if that has something to do with our inability to cope as well, or if it's just life beating us down so much that we just feel like fuck it.
Well, life beating you down or doing whatever it does causes hormonal changes. You know, you're going to have hormonal changes because of age, because of experience, but definitely because of age. You know, our cells don't regenerate as fast or in the same way as they used to when we were younger. You know, that's why we're young. You know what I'm saying? So as we get used to the changes that are taking place in us internally, it's impossible to keep the same outlook or the same veneer on the outside. Whatever's happening on the inside is going to affect the outside. So yeah, you know, women going through menopause, men, you know, going through their physical changes. You know, pardon my candor, but every man has to deal with, you know, the not having the same stamina as they may have had when they were younger. You know, it's just let's just say things may not be as hard as they were when you were younger. Not that it might not be soft, but every man knows that 16-year-old hardness is hard to duplicate. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit it'd be taking over your whole body. So it's different. You know what I mean? It's different. And not everybody is able to deal with that as well. Because, you know, that takes a hit on your quote unquote ability. And that's not to say that you can't do anything well. But yeah, hormonal changes are going to definitely play into the way that you feel about change and the things that you do about change. And people are going to have to get used to you also, because they can see that. Okay, because when you're changing, people can notice it. And so the people who care about you and the people that you have to interact with or whatever, they have to adjust to you, the new you, the changes in you, the same way that you have to adjust with the changes that are taking place within you, or even if you are actively making those changes. You know, like, I don't know if you ever used to watch the Maury Show. And they used to,
yeah.
All right, yeah. So you know the episodes where they used to do the makeovers.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, so they go in there and you know, first the production, they show you how the person looks when they at home. You know, they have the chicks looking all tattered and worn, and you know what I mean, and they house coats and shoes. You know what I'm saying? Just like they look like that all the time, right? They never showed them just dressed for the day, you know. But and then they would do these makeovers, which was nothing but a bunch of new clothes, often skimpy, you know, or and some makeup and hair. That's what it was all about. So it was like, all right, so they see themselves looking good one day, and that's supposed to change the way that they present themselves from now on. Where they do that? You know what I mean? And people who watch that shit actually believe that shit, because to them it's a possibility. And a lot of things are possibilities, but reality is a possibility too. And the reality of the situation is that you're probably going to revert back to what's comfortable for you, because that's what you're used to. And that's what coping has a lot to do with. The way that you deal with the things that have been with you for a long time.
Okay, so how do you, or how are we supposed to, like, what are we supposed to do when we find ourselves not coping as well as we used to?
Well, I think that first of all, hopefully, if you're the person who realizes that you're not coping as well as you used to, the good part about that is that you probably have gotten to know yourself. That's the good thing that I could see in this. And if you know yourself, then you probably have some ideas of what you need to do to get back together, to get back right, to get back on track. So for some people, it kind of depends on what you've been doing in order to cope along the way. Like with the poll question, I asked what people do in times of to deal with ongoing stressful situations. So there are positive things that you can do, and then there are negative things that people do without even thinking about it. Consuming a lot.
True.
Yeah, like consuming a lot of alcohol. You can't tell weed smokers shit about stress. You know what I mean? Even though you and I may not think that it's a good idea to medicate yourself like that. You can't tell them that shit. But there are also positive things that you can do too. Like, changing your diet, exercising, opening the lines of communication with somebody, seeking out counseling, doing yoga, meditation, getting some rest, taking your ass to bed. A lot of y'all listening to this show right now, okay, let me ask. And I want y'all to be honest. Y'all in the chat, I want y'all to be honest. Be honest. And we're gonna do this as locally and as up to date as possible. How many of y'all got at least 5 hours of sleep last night? At least 5 hours of sleep. Now, anybody who was looking at the show last night, come on here talking about they did. I know you lying. We just got off the air. Actually, they might have. Okay, T. Carey Wright said me. All right. Nora says I did. Okay. And okay, grown woman don't try me says me. That's my usual amount. Okay. All right. Okay, T. Carey Wright says I fell asleep during the show. Oh, okay. I'm glad we could help out. And Tori says I meant to log in last night. Hopefully you was getting your at least 5 hours in. Cheryl Halsey said me. Ansel Jones said, well, damn. All right, 6 hours. Who got at least 6 hours last night? What the fuck? God damn it. Somebody lying. It must be everybody in the background. Carla talking about I fell asleep during the show as well. You know what? I'm about to erase some of these comments. You know what I mean? This is some bullshit. Let me find out. The Daily Go Get 'em is show. Put motherfuckers to sleep on a Friday night. God damn it. Marissa Allberg said 5 to 6 hours. All right, 7 hours. Who got 7 hours? I'm gonna keep raising the bar till I get it. But no, really, getting some rest. It can really help out. It can really help out because when you get rest, you increase the amount of oxygen that goes to your brain. You give your muscles time to and all of your organs time to reset, time to repair themselves. It's important. So sleep has a direct effect on your hormonal activity. However, some people sleep a lot in order to try to forget their problems. So it's like some people sleep all the time when they're depressed. So it's, you know what I mean? It's just,
Yeah.
It's hard to balance. It's hard to balance, but ultimately, I'm just saying to do what, if you have positive ways that you know about of combating stress and dealing with change, which leads to stress, changes in your life, abrupt changes lead to a insurmountable amount of stress. And we don't always recognize exactly how stress affects our hormones. Like we think that like when something surprises us, like when a change in our lives surprises us, and it may mess us up for a minute, but we figure, all right, that it didn't kill me, and I shook it off or whatever. We don't always consider the long term effects of that stressful event. Like
Yeah.
we if we don't know that much about it, we think that it just affected us for that time and we were able to get past it and now it's gone, but it doesn't work that way. The same way as you don't gain weight is while you're eating the food. But over time, you gain weight. So if you keep overeating and you keep eating things that aren't healthy, eventually you're going to gain more and more weight. But you're not going to gain the weight right there while you're eating. So if you can understand those effects, or the same way when you exercise, you have a weight train, or one thing that people love about weight training is that you see your results immediately. But those muscles that were bulging while you were in the gym ain't there, 10 hours later.
The pump. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? 10 hours later,
It's called the pump.
Mm-hmm, that shit settled down. So you better take them pictures in the mirror. You better take them selfies.
Gym flow. Hashtag gym flow.
You better take them pictures while you nice and pumped up and puffy, because later on it's gonna settle down. But with good sleep and proper diet, that work that you did in the gym, even if it was just cardio, will have really, really great beneficial long-term effects. So when you understand how that works, you start to understand what's necessary to do when you are dealing with your hormonal changes. Like you have to actually know what to do or find what to do. But what you have been doing may have been working for a time. What we're talking about today is what happens when those things ain't working no more.
You find something different, in my opinion. But when I originally asked you the question, it wasn't necessarily just for me. Like, I know that I have friends that listen to the show, but they won't participate. Like, they won't call in, but they'll ask me questions, or they won't participate in the chat. So, I'm asking for them.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, when the things that you normally do to help you cope are not working, then you find something different. Like, there are people, like myself, I listen to music. If music didn't it stopped working for me, I would then, look towards something physical, to do, to get, to help me cope. Reading self-help books, or listening to one. You don't even have to read it. Not everybody likes to turn the page. So, things like that. And one of the things that you mentioned earlier, you said increasing your communication with someone. Sometimes you have to decrease your communication with someone in order to be able to recoup your coping skills.
Yeah.
In a sense, because there are people out there. I'm sorry, I almost cursed, but there are people. Well, there are folks not so nice that will drain you. They will drain you. And be that source of stress that you depending on their role in your life, you may hold on to whatever negative or disruptive interaction you have with that person.
Yeah.
And those around you be like, oh no, just don't even worry about it. And it's easier said than done when it's your parent or one of your children or your best friend who you entrusted, all of your secrets with or to, it's easier said than done. Don't, quote unquote, don't worry about it. So sometimes you just have to decrease your interactions with those people who are bringing negative aura into your space.
Let me ask you this.
Sure.
With people who bring negative aura into your space, do you think that they could be considered? Do you think that could be considered a toxic relationship or an unhealthy relationship? All friendships that are close ain't good.
Yes, I do believe that it absolutely should be considered a toxic relationship, and then whoever you are, you have to realize that you're playing your own part in that toxic relationship. Because if you do not recognize that you're playing a part and you have a part to play in that,
yeah,
then it won't get better.
Mm-hmm.
You won't be able to walk away. You're not even recognizing your part in this shit.
Yeah.
And I'm saying this as somebody, like, I had to do that. I had a friend, and I spoke about her before. When I think Brother Troy was on the phone with me that day, where I went into something big with her, and she fucked me over. The thing is, that's my own fault. You know why? Because I saw the damn red flags way, way, way in the beginning before we even became friends. And I got sucked in during a time where she seemed so sweet. And there was red flags throughout the friendship. And I didn't recognize that it was like almost like a codependent toxicity.
Yeah.
So,
and I'm glad we talk about this, because we don't always talk about how sometimes the people closest to you are the people that you should, I hate to use this word, but those are the people that you need to conceal your life from the most. Because even when they try to help you, sometimes they might fumble the ball so much because they don't know how to help.
yeah.
And maybe we have to take some accountability for that, because maybe we haven't taught them how to help us. We know that we need help, but we haven't shown them how to help. We haven't really gotten into that with them.
Are they worth even teaching, though?
It depends on who it is. See, all toxic or unhealthy relationships aren't exactly the same. You might have a toxic relationship where you can tell a person anything, but you can't show them a lot. You understand what I mean? Or you may have a toxic relationship where even though you can trust them with your information, they still are the type that try to get you into worse situations or things that are going to compound your stress instead of eliminate it.
Mm.
So let's say if your best friend is a thief or ratchet, messy, you know what I mean? And you may have a certain loyalty to this type of person because things happen in your life. Like, you know how it is. You know how it is when somebody was there for you at the most dangerous time in your life, and they helped you. They were there. They helped you. And your misplaced, displaced, loyal ass is paying homage to this bum. Paying homage for the rest of your life.
For me, it wasn't like for me, it was that same girl and my cousins. We grew up in like the same house, and so they're more like siblings and cousins. But yeah, I don't know what they ghetto ass. Yo, yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
because I have felt like but they were here for me during this point when nobody else was. And I felt like I had to put up with this shit, or help. I had to constantly. I said, no. I owe it to them to help redirect this dumb shit they're doing or saying.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing that ended up happening was them resenting me trying to redirect. If they took that The fact that I didn't want to immerse myself in a toxic behavior and thinking, as me thinking I was better than them, me thinking that I'm smarter than them, and it's like, no, I want to see you be a better you. And this version of you is not just bringing you down, but it's bringing me down too, because I feel like this weird responsibility to join you in your dumb shit in order to try to pull you out of dumb. It's a cycle that just no good.
Yeah.
No good.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. And see, and these things work on your coping skills. These things work on your coping mechanisms. Because the time is going to come where you're going to be full of that. You don't want no more. And at the same time, you're battling your feelings of loyalty, dedication, understanding, forgiveness, all kinds of shit. But there also comes a time in your life where you have to put yourself first. And that can work on your coping mechanisms as well, because you may not, in your heart of hearts, believe in that shit. You may feel...
Believe in what? Putting yourself first?
Well, let me put it this way. And let me ask you, and let me ask all of my divinely blessed people out there who feel like God got them and he going to take care of them no matter what. So they dedicate their lives to always being there to service other people. Why not asking
not
for...
my God.
I'm just saying.
I'm sorry. My God be like, shit. Yeah.
I hear you.
Straight up, I heard him say it. Like,
well, there are a lot of people out here who really believe that, and maybe rightfully so. And maybe it has been proven to them over time that God got them. So maybe they feel like their mission in life is to go out here and help save everybody else and not worry about themselves because they already saved, literally and figuratively. You know what I mean? They might have got saved. They might have got saved last month.
Nah, people who say that's cap. And let me tell you why. Because their need to save everybody is not ordained by God. It's ordained by their fucking ego.
You sure?
It's ordained by their ego.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Are you? Pardon me. Are you saved?
No.
So if you're not saved, there's people out there that are saveder than you, right?
Yep. Sure is.
Are you saveder than anyone else?
Am I closer to God?
Saveder. You understand?
No, I'm not saved. So I can't say that I'm saveder than anyone else.
Okay, are you safe?
Dude, I'm telling you, it's ego.
But are you safe? Are you safe right now? Are you under duress?
Yes, I am safe, and I'm blinking twice. But I'm just saying. Like, my point is that it's ego. The people who say that, they're out there and they're just trying to save everybody. They're really it's a gratification for themselves. It's not really for the other person.
I mean,
they get off on saving people. That's why they're trying to save everybody.
Now,
anyone who's truly trying to help understands that you can't save everybody.
Okay.
So just understand the difference in what I'm not saying, people who try to help or it's all cap and it's all ego. No. People who truly try to help understand that you cannot save everybody.
Okay. Now I understand what you're saying. Okay. Now, besides the what they call those people who have a savior complex, not talking about them, but I'm talking about the people who really genuinely believe that they don't need a lot, but other people really do need more than they do. So they give all the time and they just work with whatever they with whatever they have because they feel like it's enough. So I'm talking about this in the genuine sense, not in the egotistical or egoistic sense.
Okay.
So yeah, but there are some people out there who are always out there genuinely trying to, I mean, they might work in the soup kitchen, giving out food, giving out them boxes of food over on Erie Avenue or always, just trying to genuinely be a humanitarian.
Mm-hmm.
While not necessary, but while feeling like they can make it on very little, or maybe they feel like they have so much that they should give. There's some people out here. I don't know if you've ever known anybody that some people just have really, really good jobs or really good careers, and it's easy for them to make money. Some people make more money by mistake than a lot of people do on purpose. They just have that hustler mentality. They have the skills to bring the money in and pay the bills. But they understand how other people aren't able to do that. So they may give a lot of themselves. You know what I mean? And just neglect some of the things that they need, because they may not need money, but they might need love. They might need affection. They might need clarity and understanding and insight. And they think that, well, I'll get it somewhere along the way, whatever. But I want to get back to this. I really want to get back to this coping thing, because a lot of people don't really understand what we're talking about when we're talking about coping, because as I read the definition of what coping is in the beginning of the show, we're talking about your ability to manage stressful situations over a period of time. We're talking about how you have learned to deal with something, not just today, but today, over a series of days, weeks, months, years, decades. And when we talk about how you're not coping as well as you used to, it's something that you're going to recognize very easily and fast. And that can, having to recalibrate your coping mechanisms is not going to be very easy for most people, because you've already done the work. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
This might not be the best example, but imagine you've been driving all your life, and all of a sudden what you mean I can't drive this car? It's a regular automatic. It's not a stick or whatever, but something is going on. I can't drive this thing. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you could be dealing with a health issue or something like that. Like my mom is 84 years old, and she went and renewed her license earlier this year because she doesn't want to not be able to drive if she wants to or needs to drive. Even though, she's barely leaving the crib these days. But I get it. She ain't trying to cope with not being a driver anymore. She's not trying to cope with having just the simplest daily task taken away from her. I understand. You understand? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. So when we talk about not being able to cope as well, we're not talking about not being able to cope at all, but just not as well. Shit, check this. Some people out here can really do the Rubik's Cube. My daughter can do that shit. You know what I mean? She can have all them colors right in a few minutes. I've never been able to do that. Can you do that shit?
Oh, yeah, I can.
Yeah, I can't. I don't know how y'all do that. You know what I mean? I can get you one side, maybe two.
Yeah, I used to be obsessed with it, so yeah.
Yeah, I can't. I've never been able to do so. But the complexity of people who are able to do this shit. Their brain works in a certain type of way. I can't tell you how it does, but I know that there's something, they're programmed differently. Well, imagine you were able to do a Rubik's Cube in 10 minutes or less, no matter how jumbled it up it was. Because you understood the formula, right? So imagine now it's taking you an hour to do a Rubik's Cube? Huh? And I ain't talking about you haven't done a Rubik's Cube in 5-10 years. I'm talking about all of a sudden it's taking you a long time to get the Rubik's Cube together. You're supposed to get better at something that you practice at a lot. And you can find yourself in a position where you're not getting better. You are visibly getting worse at something. You know, when they talk about when Joe Biden was president and they was talking about him losing his cognitive abilities. Now Donald Trump is president and they talk about him losing his cognitive abilities. And the one thing that both of them had in common was that neither one of them, let me say both of them were in denial that they were losing their cognitive abilities. And they were definitely both losing their cognitive abilities. Does that mean that that both of them were demented or insane? No, it means one of them is, and that's the current one. But nonetheless, it's something that you can see is dealing with something that's degenerative, dealing with age or whatever, and you can lose your ability to be able to do the things or correct the things, handle things the way that you used to be able to do. And that may really, really be making even more things that you were able to cope with harder and harder. And whatnot. So yeah. Not being able to cope with things. Dealing with sadness or disappointment. There may have been a time you used to be able to do that shit like water rolling off the back of a duck's back. Like, nope. Now it sticks a little bit more. It sticks a little bit more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, when my dad passed in 2021, let me tell it. I mean, you know, I love my dad and everything like that, but I'm still the same OG. That ain't what everybody else said.
Mm.
You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
They said I was different. They said I'm still different. Like, nah, you ain't really been the same since that. And I'm like, at first I was, maybe I still am, but you know what I mean? Definitely at first I was like, nah, I mean, sure. I mean, that was my man. Of course, I miss him and I love him, and you know what I mean? I wish he was here and blah, 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 blah. And the world is just a little bit different without him being in it. But I'm still good. They said, no, you're not. They could see it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They could see it. After a while, like I still don't, I may not see it the way they see it. But I see some of the things that they see. I've lost a lot of people. Like when I lost my stepdad in 2010, I think I was able to cope with that situation a lot more. Not that I loved him any less, but I think that what was going on in my life at that time allowed me to deal with that a little bit more. Plus, my stepdad had been sick for a while. So I was a little bit more ready. Whereas my dad, you know, he concealed his sickness for a long time. And, you know what I mean? So by the time he got really, really, really sick, it was like, well, damn, you really about to be on up out of here. And when he refused treatment anymore, it was like, you just gonna let this shit happen? Like, What? You're kidding me, right? So that took a toll on my coping skills. So
Mm.
every death ain't the same. Some are going to affect you a little bit more. Like, oh man, this one here, yeah,
Can I share something with you?
yeah.
Just an observation, well, sort of in a sense. So before you had shared with us that about your father passing, you were well, you're still very passionate when you speak, but you were more passionate. You had less patience, and you were more fiery than you have been since he's transitioned. And I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just saying that I'll be like you'll be up on my TV and I'll see people's comments. Like they're coming in and they're doing stuff all ridiculous, being ignorant, and you just like you'll make a joke now. Now before you used to, oh my gosh, but yeah, you would go all the way off from 0 to 100, and I just feel like it's changed. Not in a bad way, but it's just there's definitely been an adjustment in the way that you respond or in interacting with the people that watch the show.
Well, I'll say this.
Because it wasn't like that before your father passed.
Okay.
Like it was like you were licking off shots in the air for real.
Well, see, I guess that was beneficial to everybody else. You know what I mean? But I'm not immune or resistant to growth. And growth and change is not exactly the same. But at some point you have to prioritize what's important versus what's a little bit trivial. You know what I mean? You have to prioritize what needs to be done right now versus what might be able to wait until some things that need to go before it can wait for. So yeah, because I've been doing this shit for so long, I can go back 10 years and listen or look at live shows that I've done. And yeah, there's been a lot of growth. Like there are a lot of things I'm able to do now that I wouldn't have been able to do in 2014, definitely not 2009 or maybe even 2017. But you doing this every day, you're going to be able to notice changes and sometimes growth. So there's a good chance that since my dad passed that I've grown. But because he was my last old head, he was all I had. My relationship with my pop wasn't like other people's relationship with their. I could literally talk to my dad about anything. Like it was crazy. So while people are in your life, that's something that you may take for granted. But when it's gone, you've lost a lot. You've suffered a major loss. That would be like you had 100,000 saved up and you just lost 80. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So you down to you down to 20% of what you had before. That's, your decisions, your purchasing decisions are definitely going to change. And you may even have to think about going back to work or some shit like that. So because I don't have that resource, now that's not to say that I can't that I can't talk to people that are in my life. I still have my mom. But with all due respect, I can't, and I have a great relationship with my mom, and I can be very, very candid with her. But that masculine energy from my dad was unmatched. You understand what I mean? It was unmatched. That wasn't something that was comparable to anything
You have a call from.
Because it was also a two-way street. Like, he shared things with me that no other man would ever do. Good, bad, or indifferent. Good, bad, or indifferent. But so I knew where I could go if I was confused about something, because there was hardly any experience that I had that he hadn't had before. So he could show me exactly where to go. Now I have to be the person who shows what other people where to go, because I don't have nobody else that I can turn to when I'm confused or when I'm in the dark or whatever. Like, I gotta go. We talk about not being able to cope as well anymore. I gotta be able to do it for myself. And once again, I'm not saying that I don't have resources, because I do, but that resource is no longer here. And I needed that. You know what I'm saying? I needed it. So yeah, I could understand people seeing a change in me that way. But I think that has a lot to do with the growth of making sure that you, I never really thought about this before, but my dad was a lot more patient than I was.
Yeah.
Maybe he.
I've listened to you guys before, so
yeah.
It was definitely the odd couple. The two
Lord, we was fucking we was Sanford and Son and Lamont. We was Fred Sanford and Lamont.
Oh my goodness.
But I never really thought about this before, but he may have left me with some patience. I consider myself to be patient before, but I think I picked and chose a little bit more than when he passed. You know what I'm saying? Like, now I'm like, some real strange. Let me tell y'all something. I went to the gas station last week. I'm going to go fill up the gas. I'm going to go fill up my tank. And there was this dude that was digging in the trash. And he asked me, he said, "Can I have a couple of dollars? Because I'm really hungry." And, I'm not used to panhandlers saying that they hungry. You know what I mean? Like, they normally, the ones that are here, especially in the area where I was, they normally have signs and shit. Wounded veteran, homeless, don't have no dog food. Yeah, I mean, whatever. But he was digging in the trash, and he specifically asked, I think he asked for $2 or some shit, whatever the amount was, he asked for it specifically. And I was like, and he said he was hungry. He said, "I don't have nothing to eat. I'm hungry." And I said, first I'm like, I don't really like people approaching me at the gas station, because as long as the gas says has a 3 in front of it, you know what I mean? Like, maybe when it says 2, but as long as that shit is saying 3 first, I'm like, this ain't the right place. So
I ain't even mad at you.
So first I told him no. And I went to go pump my gas. And he kindly went back to digging in the trash. I said, "The fuck?" I said, "You know what? Let me get this dude." So I went and I gave him some money. He was like, "Hey, thank you so much, blah, 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 blah." So I'm thinking he going, he going to step off, go do whatever he do. Don't you know this motherfucker went to the other island and started digging in that trash? I said, "Dude, I just gave you."
Okay, he still needed bottles.
Why did you just ask for? Listen, how much does it take for you not to dig in the trash.
Hold on. You don't know how hungry he was. Maybe
I know what he asked for.
For later or something.
Listen.
Call me Linda.
Yeah, I'm ready. Look. It's a McDonald's. Look, I'm trying to get you out of the trash can. Like you made my money insignificant.
No, he didn't. Stop that.
No, he did. And I felt bad. Yes, he did. And yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
His issue of hunger is it lasts longer than the moment of you giving him a couple dollars. So he still needs to get reinforcement.
He should have just asked for the amount of money that was needed to get out of the trash can.
It's very used to people telling him no.
Huh?
Very used to people telling him no for that amount. So he just went for the smallest amount he could.
But he got it.
Thank you.
No, think nothing. No.
Listen.
Look, I'm out there trying to save souls. And okay, and if it was that deep, why didn't he just keep digging in the trash can that I found him at? I gave him enough money to go to the other island? Because I'm thinking, listen, hold on. First of all,
understand I'm kind of hungry.
No. What I do understand is mental illness, and he had that. So what was happening here is that, first of all, I thought he was going into the store like to buy whatever $2 was going to give him. You know what I mean? But instead, he stopped at the trash can. Like, I said, dude, what's up? It was like he woke up like, and he actually went in the store.
You done guilt tripped him and to stop looking for the rest of his.
Listen, that motherfucker.
He doesn't know the next time somebody's gonna be kind to him.
Well, it was this time, because whatever it took to get him out of the trash can, I was gonna pay it. Now I already said no, but my no turned around. It was time for yeah.
Why he was digging in the trash?
I ain't got time to be interviewing nobody on the street, Kim. You wildin'. You know what I mean? I know why he digging in the trash. Anybody who digs in the trash, I know exactly why they doing it.
Why?
because they're homeless, they mentally ill, and they're not concerned about nutrition. That's why. Now, if he was around there with a metal detector, I would think of him a lot differently.
Yeah.
I would say he was looking for treasure.
One time, someone who had a sign saying he was homeless, and he was hungry. One time, my kids and I, we were driving past. We used to see this man all the time by Home Depot off of Columbus. And the kids would always say, "Can we give him some money? Can we give him some money?" Well, this day we had just gotten some food. And we gave this man, he said he was hungry. Can I have some money for some food? I'm hungry. And we went to give him the food, and he said, "I don't want that." I said, "Then your ass ain't really the fuck hungry." Mm-mm. Now that person is the person that deserves you going, "Really, dude?" Not the guy who's still looking for the rest of the week's food in the other trash can.
You know, one thing about this show I've noticed. You know what I mean? Y'all always trying to be understanding at the wrong goddamn time. You know what I'm saying? Y'all be compassionate about the craziest shit. You know what I'm saying?
What?
Y'all
humanity is crazy?
This don't have nothing to do with no humanity. I was the human. I gave up the money. You know what I mean? He asked me for a specific amount. I gave the money. I'm the human here. I was the humanitarian.
What did you make us?
Huh?
What?
So wait a minute. Let me ask you, how much did you give him?
$3.
Maybe the fuck. Okay, so wait a minute. So I
I thought you were going to say that you gave him, I gave him a $50 bill. I don't know why he was still digging in the trash.
That would be stupid.
I was thinking at least
No,
10.
Yes, it would.
It wouldn't be stupid. But
No.
I thought there's going to be an amount that he could eat
No.
for the rest of the week.
No, that anybody who
$3,
gives
he still gotta dig in the trash.
anybody who gives a homeless person $50 is dumb. Because it's like throwing good money after bad. You know what I mean? Most homeless people get high and all that kind of shit. And I don't mind you getting high, but you're not gonna get higher than me. The fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like for $50, that motherfucker got enough.
Let's go back. Can we go back? You can
Hold on, Kim. He asked for 2.
So bad, right?
He asked for 2. Oh, wait a minute. Wait. He asked for 2. He got 3. Look, he asked. He wasn't driving. I'm driving. He wasn't driving.
You didn't give him enough to get a full drink and a bag of chips.
Oh yeah, y'all laughing and shit. Hold on. Here's the funny thing. Y'all laughing about that shit like my $3 was the only $3 that he probably got that whole day. That motherfucker out there working.
I really thought it was going to be a higher about these $3.
Oh, I'm not going to. Whoa. I'm a giver, but I'm not stupid. Not giving them no $20 and no shit like that. Shit, they gonna go get some top shelf liquor with that shit. Fuck out of here.
You mentioned McDonald's. You know, McDonald's doesn't even have a dollar menu anymore. Like he can't even.
No. I said what I said was look. I will because he said, listen, because he was actually digging in the trash. I believe that he was actually hungry, and like I said, I don't know, and y'all don't know. Nobody knows how much he had already had. I'm not saying that he's out there scamming all day, but he was bold enough to ask for money. And I'm not the only person that I'm sure was sympathetic to his cause that day.
Sir, I love you. That's all I can say.
Listen, I don't know how many. I don't know how many homeless people they have in Indiana. I don't know how many homeless people they have in Indiana, but in Philly, we flooded. And you got the homeless people that are homeless because of mental illness. You got the people that are homeless because of fentanyl and other drugs. And then you have the people who are homeless because they ain't got no home training. So there are a lot of homeless people in this city. And I'm not breaking myself. You know, if I would go and buy you some food. Like I said, the McDonald's was right across the street. The gas station was right there. I would have went in there and bought him whatever he wants.
And you would have spent more than $3.
That's why
we're laughing. Because it would have been more than $3.
Did I give him what he wanted or not?
No, he did. I'm just saying.
All right.
I'm just saying. The fact that he kept digging doesn't mean that your money was worthless. It just means that he needed more.
I know my money ain't worthless. I gave, like I said, I gave him more than what he asked for. That's the bottom line. He asked for 2. He got 3.
Can I get $2 and tax?
Okay, so
he can't even go to Dollar Tree no more.
So if he
is $1, the shit is $1.50 now.
He didn't look like he was. He didn't look like he was shopping.
I'm so confused. I'm laughing, killing me. What did he look like he was doing?
He was digging in the trash. I mean, maybe you can consider that shopping. I don't.
Okay. I just can't.
Troy said I would have gave $250. Look, you asked. when you ask me for money, and you ask for a specific amount, that's what you're getting. You know what I mean? I mean that's how it go. You know, but I gave him more. Oh, and y'all forgetting that I told this story because I wasn't gonna give him nothing except for I saw him digging in the trash. I was like, all right, he legit. You gotta understand that there's so many homeless people out there begging and shit that you just don't know. You don't know if it's worth it to give motherfuckers money. At gas stations in Philly, you gonna always find somebody begging. They flooded with the shit.
When you give, it is not about what they're gonna do with it. It is about what you decide as a person. If you want to give or not. It's not about what the person does. I'm sorry.
You're right.
We want to believe that's what it is, but it really is.
No. He asked for money because he said he was hungry. That's the only reason I'm talking about that. I didn't give him money. I didn't give him money saying, you know, what he should do with the money and all of that. I never tell nobody what to do with money that I give him. But he specifically said, can I have $2 because I'm hungry? So in my mind, the $2 is going to get you out of the hunger state. So I gave you $3. So I don't know, maybe
$2 ain't gonna get you out of the hunger state.
You know what, Kim? If you ask me for $20, should I assume that you don't have 180, but you might need 200?
If I were homeless.
No. Forget about whether. Wait. Forget about whether they homeless or not. If you ask me for $20, should I assume that you don't have any money?
Yes.
Then that's crazy because my assumptions don't work that way. Because if I ask anybody for any money, it does not mean that I don't have any money. It means that I need more or I don't have mine accessible. So I know that in the area, because I was out in the Northeast. So they got black, white, Asian, everybody out there begging. And the reason that that's a hot spot for begging is because motherfuckers give up money. So why would I think that he didn't have any money just because he was digging in the trash? Shit, I don't know. In this city, I've gotten used to some very, very cagey panhandlers. It is what it is.
I get it. That's in every city. That's not just in Philly. That's in every city.
Well, then
these things happen in every city, unfortunately.
Well, if you acknowledge that it goes like that in every city, then you understand my motivation behind it. I don't expect you to turn right back around and do the same thing that you was doing that you asked me to get you out of. That wasn't registering to me. So if that makes
your biggest issue with seeing him dig in the trash, it seems like that's what's really something about that is triggering for you. And I don't mean that negatively because it's been triggering for me before to see someone dig in the trash. Now, different in the way you are triggered by it.
I'm not triggered by that. It's just like if a police, I don't know if, okay, all right, like from a policeman's perspective, if a policeman stops you on the street, a routine traffic stop, let's say you ran through a light or you was driving too fast or you switched lanes when you wasn't supposed to, whatever. They're so used to people lying. Oh, I didn't see that. I did? Oh, you know what I mean? Or if your license is fucked up, they so used to people being like, oh, I didn't know my license was suspended or whatever. That when my license was suspended for mad years and I got stopped a lot and I got out of ticket after ticket after ticket after ticket. Why? Because I told the cop the truth up front. When he came to my window, I told him, listen, officer, my license is suspended. It's suspended for DUI, but I gotta work, and that's why I'm driving. So I mean, it is what it is. Because when they were stopping me, it wasn't because of no traffic violations. They was straight profiling me. You understand what I mean? But because I didn't make that motherfucker go back to his car and run my shit and find out that my shit was already messed up, I'd let him know up front. So you know what he did? He went back to the car to make sure I didn't have no warrants. And then when he came back to my window, he would be like, all right, man, you know, like, listen, try to get your license back together, whatever. I'm just going to give you a warning this time. Be careful out there. It worked time after time after time after time. Why? Because he was used to people lying to him all the time. And so if somebody told him the truth, it disarmed him. So I'm looking at the homeless dude the same way. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't about him digging in the trash. It was that he asked me money for a specific thing. So I'm thinking he going to step off and do that thing, not do the same thing that he asked me for money not to do. That don't make sense to me.
He didn't say give me some money so I can stop digging in the trash. He said give me some money because I'm hungry. So you just assumed he's gonna stop digging. You assumed it. He didn't tell you that. You assumed he was gonna stop digging in the trash because he gave him $3.
When it comes to homeless people, they the ones who are like really homeless or people who are really hungry, they're gonna ask for whatever they believe is easier. People would give up easiest. So if you know, if you've gone to the stores and he's seen or asked about the prices of the food, and he knows that in general he'll be able to eat for like $10. You know, he's going to ask people for $2, as many people for $2 as he possibly can, rather than saying I need $10 to go eat. So for all you know, you could have been the first person that day to give him money. You know,
and don't forget,
he's still looking in the trash for other stuff until he can get up the rest of the money. I don't think it was that your money didn't mean anything. I think it did. You know, I would like to believe that it did. I mean, I wasn't there, so I wouldn't really know. I don't think it was dismissed or anything like that. If you saw that he really did look hungry.
I ain't saying he looked hungry.
Layer on the mental illness, because if he's mentally ill, it could just be whatever is going on with him. What he does is he's in the trash or look in the trash. You just never know. That's the reality. We laughing at stuff, but the reality is we never know the experience that person is having in this space. And it's unfortunate that there are people in this country of great wealth who have to dig in the trash for food or to find cans to turn in to get money. We just don't know. We don't know what's happening, or just because they have a mental illness that is causing them to do these things that are unique.
I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this and I'm going to be done with it. You do not have to dig in no trash in order to find food in Philadelphia. We give away more food in this city. Nobody has to starve in the city of Philadelphia. I'm going to tell you that straight up and down. My dad, when he was alive, and my mom, when she was a little bit younger, they used to go to the free food banks all the time. They was saving stupid money. You know what I mean? Because they was giving away the good shit. Nobody got to starve in this city. I ain't gonna hold you. You know what I mean? And that's what
no one should starve in this country. Let's call it.
I can't speak for the rest of the country. I've never been in a food bank in any other city. In this city, I pass them on the streets daily. I see motherfuckers lined up for blocks, and they are not homeless. But guess what? The homeless can get it too.
Fucking hungry.
No, they saving money. They saving money. This ain't no new shit. It's been going on for 20 years. You can get money. They be having the shit from Whole Foods. The shit that my dad used. He used to have so much. He used to just give. He'd be like, yo, Omar, come over. I got this food I need to give you. Blah, blah, blah. This shit was from Whole Foods. I used to be like, huh? They giving away this shit? I'm getting hummus. I'm getting fucking, you know what I mean? Them sandwiches they got. I was like, damn, they got the good shit. He was like, yeah, they got good stuff. He was like, you need some peaches? You need some, you like oranges, right? You want some apples? I'm telling you, we were saving mad dough. You don't have to starve in this city. You ain't got to deal. You do not have to dig in no trash in the city of Philadelphia in order to eat. You know what I mean? We got food banks. We got churches. Missions and shit giving food away. You know, I ain't you may not get the food that you want to eat, but you do not have to dig in no trash. You can get food that's healthy for you.
You are speaking logical things in an illogical society. That's the sad part. You're speaking logical things in an illogical society.
Kim, they are on the street. How am I speaking logic?
I understand what you're saying.
They're on the street. Where they give away the food is on the street. I'm not on the street. Wait. They are on the street. I'm not on the street. Where they're giving away the money is on the street. So how am I speaking logically? All they got to do is walk. That's what they was doing.
Well, you did mention that it was an obvious mental health issue, like one that you could see. So maybe that played a factor in it. We're just saying that that your $3 did mean something. That's all.
Listen,
we're giving you a little bit of a hard time, but that's all we're saying.
I ain't sweating. I know what happened. I was there. I seen what happened. You know what I mean? Y'all can relate that shit through my however I explained it or whatever. I seen it, and it ain't make no goddamn sense for him to be digging in the trash. And then he asked me for the money, and I give him the money, and then he go dig in the other trash. Why you ain't finished the trash that you was digging in? Fuck it.
I reiterate, I love you so much and hate you at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. Oh, look at that. We've been on. Here we are, past 3. Time to go.
Whew. Oh wow.
Okay. It was such a great time. I was having a great time. I just got to run some errands. Woo!
Ooh. You just started late.
I don't even know what the topic was about today.
The topic was coping with the loss of $3.
I want to thank everybody for coming through. I ain't even gonna read the birthday shout outs after this shit. The fuck out of here.
I'm just playing.
Yo, I ain't even mad at that. Thank you, grown woman. Don't try. Hold on. Let me shut a goddamn mic off. Damn cackling hen. All right, I want to thank Carla, grown women don't try, and Tori for Tori gave me $3.99. Yeah, oh, y'all gave my money back. You're too kind. Y'all too kind. I ain't mad at it though. Oh shit, she's still here. All right.
I'm gonna head out.
All right, I'll let y'all. Thanks for coming through. Love is love. Cut his mic off. You know what I mean? This shit is going too far left. Let me do these birthday shout outs and get out of here. You know, I think I'm going to go to church. It's Seventh-day Adventist. They have service today, right? We'll go to the Seventh-day Adventist church today. What that? All right, we have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious September 27th, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special because they are special because they are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They get number 1 out the box. Monique Johnson and Janine's Refinished Home Decor, Stephanie Amani, James Price, Lisa E. Risco, Owen Zai, Chanel Jones, Princess S.A., Malika Bruce. Wait a minute. Come on. Maurice Desern, excuse me. And last but not least, Dominic Wooten. I want to say happy birthday to all of y'all. And I hope that today finds you all in good health, happiness, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And that goes out to each and every person out there born on this glorious September 27th, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally. All of y'all go ahead and turn up. But don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out, rock on and do the damn, the rock out. Rock on and do the damn, rock out. Rock on and do the damn thing. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours. And remember, man, not being able to cope as well as you used to. Hey, man, sometimes, listen, everything ages, everything breaks down, everything degenerates, but it doesn't mean that it has to sideline you. It doesn't mean that it has to stop you. It doesn't mean that everything in your life has to be adjusted in a negative way. The same way that you learn how to deal with life's challenges and basically warding off the demons and the bad thoughts and the toxicity and the craziness and the chaos and the feelings of loss and rebuilding. You will redevelop those skills. Survival is a lot more than just being alive. Survival is learning how to get by, to get through, to get over, to advance. And I wish that for all of y'all. I want to thank all of y'all for listening today. I want to thank all of y'all for coming through. I especially want to thank everybody for those super chats and stickers and whatever those things that are that you call them. Like a couple of them, I couldn't even put a like on them, but I appreciate it exponentially. Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death. Resuscitate y'all. I love y'all right back to life. We will be back tomorrow at, let me see, because I know, see what time the game is tomorrow. Make sure it can't be no 1 o'clock if we playing Tampa Bay. What is it, a 4 o'clock? That shit is 1 o'clock. I'll see y'all after the game is over. So we will not be here at no 1:30 tomorrow. Let's try for like 4:30. Let's call it 5 o'clock. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna call it 5 o'clock. We will have a show tomorrow. I didn't even realize we had no 1 o'clock games today this season, except for last week. But okay. I'm surprised they didn't flex it. All right. Once again, peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death. Resuscitate y'all. I love y'all right back to life. We will be back tomorrow about 5 p.m. Give us some time. Give me some time. Get on up in here. Until then, hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, y'all have a good rest of y'all day. Be safe and show love. Peace.